All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Brett. I'm the technical video producer for Elgato, and I'm joined by.
Chris McNamara, the technical marketing specialist for Elgato.
Uh, sorry, today's stream is going to be a little bit wonky here and there because I guess it's my third stream that I've been trying to host and I've hit some snags here and there. But it looks like you're coming in clear, and the title is actually correct on YouTube now. That had been confusing me. Uh, So, in today's stream, we're going to be mostly talking about multi-mount in all sorts of iterations of it and how you can use it with lighting and positioning. So, in our last stream, we talked about, which by the way had a great title, Lights, Camera, Actions. I was very pleased with that. And so that was more so about positioning the lights, but we didn't really talk about multi-mount all that much and how it can enable repositioning of your lights. And of course, face cam and using CamLink with a mirrorless camera, and then of course Stream Deck Actions. And I think I used my Stream Deck pedal to
You
do like
did,
a
yes.
side angle with all the lighting in a weird position.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen that, go check it out. If you have any, questions about HD60X or Stream Deck Pedal, or your lighting setups and how to get them properly set up, um, that is on the channels. You can go check that out, and hopefully, maybe we answered one of your questions. And if not, this stream is also a place to ask questions. So we are here for you.
Yes. Um, and one thing I want to, before we start, I want to apologize for last time. I did not have YouTube set up properly, so I didn't see your questions. So a lot of the questions pretty much all the questions I was answering were through Twitch. But now I have it set up properly, and I can actually see your questions coming in. So, with that said, Chris, were there any topics that you had in mind that you wanted to go over? I was mostly just going to talk about some of the products that come with multi-mount accessories and how they connect, and maybe show one setup. I have an unopened solid arm
Ooh, very
live
nice.
unboxing of a brown container.
Not specifically, no. Like Brett said, today's going to focus on the multi-mount family, everything that goes into it, how you can set it up, some ideas that may benefit your stream or your production. Um, and then we're going to have some extra time for your questions. That covers kind of any of our products, kind of an open floor type platform. And we'll go from there.
Okay, well, so for those who may not know about the multi-mount system, it is, I have a master mount L right here. So it is a mounting system that initially the concept just launched with our original key light, and so multi-mount is an entire system of accessories. So you can have accessories that attach to here and allow you to extend range. We have some that allow you to mount a camera, but they all have the same type of mounting hardware, and that is the quarter 20 thread, which is actually the same thread that you'll find on tripods and cameras, at least consumer tripods. And what makes this special is that it comes with a clamp, so you can mount it right to your desk. You don't need a tripod taking up a exponential amount of space for how high you want to get it. And with Master Mount L, L being, I'm going to take a leap of faith and say large, but it can extend 2 extra sections, and you're looking at, I can't remember the exact dimensions, but it's
Max height is 49 inches for the Master Mount L. So 22 to 49 inches. So 22 when it's all telescoped down.
mhm.
At max height, max telescopic, max telescope, whatever. Yeah, it's 49 inches for the Master Mount L, and then for Master Mount S, when everything is down, it's 13 inches. So it's quite a bit smaller, and then max height for Master Mount S is 21 inches.
Mhm. So yeah, just have this on the floor right here. That's pretty high if you need it for maximum height.
Hmm.
The other thing which I can actually show is I have a master mount connected to heavy bass as well, but I'll show that shortly. Let's bring this down so it's not
Out of frame.
going to reach a different zip code.
Not gonna poke a hole in your ceiling.
So
And
I'll
yeah, and so while Brett gets that heavy bass is a really cool product that we have. You know, its name really wraps the whole thing together. It is a solid metal heavy base that both Master Mount L and Master Mount S can connect to. So when you buy a heavy base in the box, you'll get an Allen wrench or an Allen key, as well as two longer screws. And when you look at a Master Mount S or a Master Mount L, when you flip it over and look inside the clamp, the desk clamp, you just use the Allen key to undo those screws, and then you use the same screws, the same main screws. So there'll be three. You'll use the main big one in the middle, and then in the heavy box base, there'll be two additional ones for a little bit more support. And it just uses an Allen key and screws right into the heavy base for your floor mounting needs.
so thank you for filling in there.
You're welcome.
Even though your name's Chris, not Phil. Ah man, I wish I could make that joke first day. So here is an identical Master Mount L. However, as Chris was saying, the clamp was removed and attached to the heavy base here, which I don't remember the exact weight of it, but it is.
It is 10.5 pounds.
Thank you.
So it's a 10.5 pound big old hunk of heavy metal.
So that is that's actually a great option if you want to bring your lights or even a camera without having a lot of floor space. You can bring it into a different location for streaming or even doing regular recording. So for example, let's say you're doing a kitchen stream and you're cooking something, and you can bring your camera onto your master mount on a heavy base, and you can bring it wherever you want without having. I don't have a tripod in this room, but tripods take up a lot of floor space, and
Yep.
it's it's convenient because it can fold up pretty small generally, but it's kind of a tripping hazard, to be honest.
And it's also awkward when you have them by your setup. If you have say, for example, I have my desk against my wall and I want to have a tripod around my setup, the really only available space is either to my left on the one side or like behind me, kind of over this shoulder, like over here, and then like having to get up, and like Brett said, it's a tripping hazard. B, they're awkward when they're all when they're expanded out when on all three legs. So with the master mount system or the multi mount system, the master mount L and S specifically, they have the ability to clamp to your desk. So there's no tripping hazard. There's no awkwardness. They clamp right on the edge. You can even put them behind your desk. That's a great spot we recommend is if your desk is up against a wall. The clamp is very very thin but sturdy, that it can fit within probably 1/10 or 1/8 of an inch. It's a piece of metal and it just goes right flush against your wall, clamped to the back of your desk.
Let me show a close up here.
Yeah.
So that is the clamp. So you actually have
Yep.
quite a lot of options there if you have
And
a really thick
and
desk.
as you can see there, Brett, if you just want to show the Allen
Oh yeah,
screws. Yep. So yeah, so when you buy a heavy base, now can Brett hold it right there. When you buy a heavy base, it comes with that Allen key, and the two smaller screws with heavy base are actually longer. So those are like small little screws. With heavy base, you get nice long screws to give you more support while the master mount and heavy base is on the ground.
and specifically the center screw there is an M6, and the two smaller ones are M4. We include the screws, so you don't have to worry about buying the right hardware, at the store to attach that. So all the additional hardware comes with heavy base. It wouldn't make sense to bring it with multi mount, master mount. So I keep one on a heavy base pretty much at all times, and then I have a spare one on my desk. Heavy base one is great for moving a light somewhere over on the side. which I think I had in my last stream. I think it was a Keylight Mini or Keylight Air, I believe, on this in the corner. So this is a great question. So how do the flex arms at the top work? Since I have an awkward camera position, I think they could work. Awesome question. Glad
Surge
you asked.
Shock. Great question, Surge Shock.
So I have a partially opened flex arm kit here.
And we will show you how it sets up.
All right, so let's bring this in the front here. It's all about that bass, no trouble. That's a really good tagline. So when you receive a flex arm piece such as this, you'll have a ball end and then sort of like a clamp end that a ball end would fit into. So the first thing to do is loosen this as much as you can, because we want to release the ball end like that. And then we place the end of the flex arm in there, tighten it up. And then to actually attach a camera, which I should actually brighten the image a bit, using Camera Hub.
Oh,
A little bit too much, but just wanted to show that more clearly. Actually, let me bring this down. I think that's better. And so your I'm not sure if there is a technical name for this, but the end that attaches to your camera or other accessory.
It's a ball head.
Right.
Yeah, so the ball head with the so when you do get a flex arm kit and you are setting it up, you want to save the ball head with the 1/4-inch mount from the master mount L or S, because you need that to attach to the flex arm kit as well. So make sure if you do buy one, you save the ball head with the 1/4-inch thread to put at the end of the flex arm, however you set it up. So while Brett sets this up, so we do have. So this question is specifically for the flex arm kit, which just like master mount L and S, we have a flex arm kit L and S that differentiates between. There's different attachments. So for the flex arm kit L, I believe you get um, the long flex arm. So the first part, which Brett is connecting now, and then you get 3 additional flex arm pieces that make the flex arm kit L essentially. And then flex arm kit S is just the medium piece and 1 smaller piece. So that's a 2-part set, and then the flex arm L is a 4-part set. So if you really need to, finagle your camera some way, somewhere far off your master mount, you might want the flex arm kit L. If you just need it off to the side with a little bit of deviation, the flex arm kit S can work for you for that way.
Yes. So in my previous setup before I moved, I had a master mount like this, but then I had 2 pieces that allowed me to bring my camera, basically to have the lens directly over my monitor, to get as close as possible to my eye line, which is currently being blocked by this piece of flex arm. And that allowed it to not feel so high up, and also bring it closer so I could use a wide angle lens. I think it was a nicer perspective. So I wasn't very wise in choosing to use the largest piece for the flex arm for this tight angle. But here I have the smallest piece of the flex arm kit. And so you can see you have your piece of extension, another clamp, and then the ability to mount your accessory. So let's take off the key light here.
Got the Keylight Mini right there on the Wave mic arm.
And then there you go. So you could Obviously, you probably wouldn't want it blocking your face, but
Just for example,
sure.
if you needed a
And
key light mini at that angle, there you go.
so there was a question that I think might be, how come? Let me bring this up here. How come MicroArm LP does up to 2.4 inches, but not multi-mount? I believe they're exact same mount. So that could be just an error somewhere that needs to be fixed. If you want to send us a message on Elgato support on Twitter with where you're seeing that discrepancy, we can definitely make sure that information is correct. Because I'm using a MicroArm LP right now. Yeah, so with the FlexArm kit, this is actually an old one before we had the S. So this is every item. It gives you pretty much everything you would need for a single device. Although, if you only need a couple of not adapters, a couple of extensions for moving some sort of prop around, then one FlexArm L kit can probably serve 2 or 3 master mounts. Oh, and one thing I wanted to bring up is that, so originally, like I said a little while ago, master mount L originally was just with the key light, but of course now you can buy it by itself. There's also master mount S, which is bundled with ring light. And you can also buy that separately now as well. And there is also solid arm, which is kind of a mix between FlexArm kit and master mount. Because
a little bit.
You could, because it doesn't attach to the top. So I'm going to do a fresh unboxing here.
Ooh, very nice. Clean cut, Brett.
Thank you.
So we, let's see. I'm just going to look at the questions while Brett opens that. See if I can answer anyone that's... Oh, look at that. He got it open really quickly.
I wanted to mute myself because it was kind of annoying sounds
with the cardboard.
Yeah. There's been quite a lot of questions coming in that I haven't had a chance to really read yet. Let's see. Let's see. Seems like they would make parts and attachments available individually as well, so you can make custom configurations. That is a very good idea. I think that is something that, well, I can certainly pass that along as a suggestion. That's part of the reason we started offering the FlexArm S kit, because it includes less parts. And so if you just need to make slight adjustments to one light or just one camera, then that's perfect for saving a bit of money without having extra parts that you probably won't use. So there's a balance in providing mass volume of a particular sort of kit, as well as providing sort of unlimited customization. The more customization you provide, the more expensive it is to provide that. Oh, so I was going to show the solid arm.
Solid arm. Yep.
So let's move that up a bit. So with solid arm, you have an interesting clamp, kind of a miniature version of master mount. And I'm not sure how long that is, 10 inches, 9 or 10 inches, something like that. And the idea behind solid arm...
Solid arm is 10.24 inches.
I was wrong. I'm sorry, everyone. So with solid arm, you can attach it to an existing master mount, like so. I should bring this over a little bit. There we go. Because my name is covering it a little bit. And so with that, you can attach another accessory. For instance, let me put Keylight Mini on here. And so this is a great way to not have like a billion clamps on your desk. Like so. And I look like a mad scientist right now. Because I have
and
all these things in view.
and yeah, I mean, one thing, you know, we've said it before, but I just want to reiterate it, is all of these work off the, you know, the quarter-inch thread, like the universal thread for kind of any camera or mounting system. So as you can see, Solid Arm has one. You use the one from Mastermount for Flex Arm. So really anything that has that sort of threading, you can mount onto Mastermount. Solid Arm itself, we recommend a max weight of 4.5 pounds to be on the end of Solid Arm. So as you know, that's pretty hefty. You know, your cameras can get up there, but I would say it can hold most cameras that have the threading, you know, right on the end of that. So yeah, you can kind of make this awesome, out of the way kind of one mounting Christmas tree of a setup with everything attached to it, and
One mount to rule them all.
one mount to rule them all.
I thought that's where you were going.
I was going there, but I stopped myself.
You have better self-control than me. All right, so now the other thing is with Solid Arm comes with an additional mounting point on it. And so if you needed to, you could actually use a Flex Arm kit with Solid Arm, which I'm doing right here, just for demonstration. Like this is only a couple inches.
It's like production ASMR, Brett. It's great.
Well, if the mic was pointed at it, it might be a little bit. By the way, you know, there's only so much we can talk about for multi-mount, so we were fully intending on there being a lot more Q&A than the previous stream. So it doesn't have to be about multi-mount. If you have questions about lights or capture or something, then we're more than happy to.
So I see a question right here by Logistic Adam. If you want to pull that up on screen, and we can talk about that, or I can talk about it while you set that up.
Let's see. Is it about the Keylight Air?
It is.
All right. No mounts for Keylight Air. How come?
How come? So yeah.
Oh.
I'll take it, Brett. Yeah. So no mounts for Keylight Air. How come? So Keylight Air comes with its own mount. You know, Keylight Air was designed to be more of a low profile, sitting on your desk light. It's you know, it has like its own little heavy base, or it'd be like a, you know, a non-heavy base.
Heavy base mini.
Yeah, there you go. Heavy base mini. It has its own telescopic pole, so you can increase the height up and down. It has its own quarter-inch ball head thread on the end of it, as well as you know, cable channeling in the back of Keylight Air. So Keylight Air's entire lighting solution was integrated and kind of invented to be put on your desk. Now, there's a caveat. Keylight Air has the same quarter-inch thread that we've been talking about for the stream. So if you have a Master Mount L or S or any other mounting system from Elgato, you can take that Keylight Air, unscrew it from its stand if you do not want it on your desk, and attach it to any one of these products that we've been talking about. It does not need to be on its own stand. We just kind of designed it that way, and I love Keylight Air. I think it works perfectly. I'm using one right now.
Actually, I can bring a Keylight Air in here.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and grab it, we can talk about the features. So, you know, Keylight Air was designed for that kind of like smaller footprint, working from home production type aspect. If you've seen a key light, it's a big key light. Ring light is also huge. So key light air was kind of it was key light air, key light small. And I think Brett has one here, and we can talk about those features.
What'd I miss?
Nothing, just talking about the idea behind key light air. So yeah, as you can see, simply unscrews just like any other mounting system that we have, 1/4-inch thread. And then Brett, if you want to see, it's got the heavy base mini kind of. And so it screws right into that. And then that pole that it attaches to is telescopic, just like Master Mount L and Master Mount S. So while Keylight Air doesn't have a Master Mount in the box, it has its own little Master Mount Mini in the box, essentially.
You attach it right there. That's your 1/4-inch. So can I do this backwards?
I believe in you.
Now that's some ASMR right there.
You rolled high on dexterity, Brett.
All right. And there you go. Of course, you wouldn't point it towards the camera. You probably point it towards yourself.
Yourself. Yeah, as you can see, it attaches to any of the mounting solutions that we provide.
However, unlike Keylight Mini, it does not have a battery, so I can't turn it on without the adapter. I'll move this over to the side. Let's see here. Oh, this is a good question. Can I mount this on my DSLR? You can do the reverse. You can mount your DSLR on multi-mount, or you can do it on, flex arm, solid arm, Master Mount L, Master Mount S. That was originally one of the main reasons why the multi-mount system was maybe not invented, but it was certainly one of the thoughts that went into designing it.
Inspired by holding a DSLR.
I remember, I had a trip to the office in 2017. I saw a prototype, and it was, I had no idea what it was. And I was like, oh my, I've got to have this instead of having a huge tripod behind my desk. And at the time, for a lot of people like me, you had to rearrange your room to have the space to put a tripod behind your desk to actually point at you. And I had to have a really narrow lens to sort of zoom in. But with Master Mount, there's no floor space used. You can have it attached directly to your desk and have it, brought forward using the use of either a solid arm or with flex arm. So, yeah. And of course, you could use other solid arms as well on the same mount, but of course, keep in mind there is a certain amount of weight limit in that regard, especially if you're using them on one side. The clamps that are used to connect it to your desk are indeed clamps, not vices. So they're really just for keeping things tight, but not holding on to too much leverage.
See here. So we covered. Go ahead, Brett.
I may have misunderstood their question. Let's see. There's no attachment for the Mini on a DSLR, not for streaming, but for photography. So you're looking to attach Keylight Mini to your camera? Am I understanding that? So there are ways to do that. If you have my camera's in the other room. So what I have is known as a cage for my Panasonic GH5. And with the cage, you have lots of different mounting points, and you could get a 1/4-20 to 1/4-20 adapter, and you could mount this to the cage if you wish to. I don't have a 1/4-20 adapter for that. Probably in one of my boxes somewhere. But those are pretty common for people that use accessories on cages for like microphones and lights and such. Hot shoe. Yes, actually those do exist. So you could attach a adapter into the hot shoe of the camera and attach Mini that way as well.
We also have
I just realized I'm getting a shadow on my face from this key light there. I was looking
I
at
was
the
going.
preview.
So we covered master mount, covered flex arm, solid arm, heavy base. Um, yeah, so we have a couple more accessories in the kind of multi mount. So the master mount is the main telescopic pole, and we call the family of all of our accessories that connect to master mount as multi mount. It's the multi mount family. So that also includes a phone grip if you're using your phone for, if you're using Elgato Epoch Cam to do, cooking streams, or you're pointing Epoch Cam at your desk for, a like a hands view of like your keyboard and mouse. We also sell a phone grip that again has the 1/4 inch thread that screws right into your master mount or your flex arm or your solid arm. As well as we have a new wall mount attachment that came out recently, a couple months ago. But wall mount screws directly into your wall if you want wall mounted lights. That is also available. That is great. We also use the option of mounting a DSLR to wall mount, and attaching it to the wall if you want like a static camera on a wall, not attached to anything on your desk. Wall mount can hold up to, I believe it's about 3.5 pounds. So maybe not your big, bulky DSLRs, but if you're using, if you're using Facecam and you want to attach it to your wall, wall mount's a great accessory as well.
Um, yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a wall mount, and I probably won't really be able to use one because I'm renting in this place.
Same.
But maybe what I can do is the thing that solves a lot of issues in terms of mounting for me is actually mounting it to a piece of plywood, and then you can use just a ton of those command strips to essentially glue it to the wall, and that might be an option for me to experiment with. I did want to go back to Vic's Gaming Corner's question, or I guess it wasn't really a question, but a follow-up. I find this an affordable option as opposed to a speed light because you were referring to for photography. So Keylight Mini is certainly designed for video use in mind because it outputs constant light. You can definitely use it for photography. However, it's not going to output, a speed light or a flash has a lot of benefits because it can store a large amount of energy and output it immediately when you take that shot. So it's going to win out in total lumen output in that regard. But if you're okay with maybe slightly higher ISO, slightly wider aperture, slightly slower shutter speed, then Keylight Mini can definitely, do the job just fine, especially if you're doing it in sort of closer quarters. If you're using it for product photography or something, I can definitely do the job, but it's not quite what it was designed for. I love the adapter for my Corsair monitor stand. Oh yeah, the Xeneon has essentially a multi-mount compatibility built into
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
which I know I've been going and grabbing a bunch of stuff. I have a Xeneon monitor in the other room, but I think that's a little bit bulky to bring in here to show.
It's a big boy.
Yeah, 32 inches.
And yeah, so just to kind of bounce off Brett's just comment just before, Keylight Mini is at max 800 lumens. So for a standard video light that is putting, constant light on your face, it doesn't compare to a, let's say, 30,000 lumen camera flash. So if, but like Brett said, if you're using it for video, you can use a shoe mount for your camera and have it there. And you can definitely use it in low light situations and just have it on constantly. But yep, see, there you go. Brett just turned it on, so it can get pretty bright.
Yeah,
He's getting totally blown out right there.
of course.
Um,
Since we were talking about photography, I can tell you exactly what Facecam is running at right now. I have it at 1/60th of a second shutter speed and 384 ISO. So if you're okay with those types of, because those are pretty much standardized camera values, so you can compare that with a mirrorless or a DSLR. And wow, I think I've gone blind.
Flashbanged yourself.
I have my monitor really dim usually, so that threw me off. So with if you're totally fine with those sort of values for photography, then actually Keylight Mini would work great. You know, I'm not trying to say don't use it, just
exactly
keep things in mind.
Just you know, it's good for what it does. It's great for what it does.
So I guess one thing, until we get some more questions in, I'll set this back up again for Keylight Mini. And one of the things that we showed off last time was using various mounting options to move your lights around and get you a different look. So what I can do is I can turn this light on and position it behind me.
And while Brett sets this up, I just want to say again, this stream isn't just for the multi-mount system. We're here to answer any question you might have about any of our products today. If you have a question about capture cards, Stream Deck, Wave products, whether it be Wave 1, Wave 3, Wave XLR, Wavelink, Wave mic arms, any lighting questions that we're kind of combining lighting with multi-mount right now. But if you have any questions whatsoever, make sure to throw them down in the chat and we'll get to them.
So yeah, that's Keylight Mini at, let's see here, maximum brightness at around 4,000 Kelvin. And it's right out of frame. It provides this nice rim lighting on me to separate me from the background a little bit.
Completely wireless, by the way. With
True.
Control Center. Yep.
Wireless and cordless because it's battery powered.
Absolutely.
And I have Link accessory controls on, so that's why I was adjusting all my other lights. So I wanted to make that very different in color, then I could. Yeah, that's a bit more blue.
A little bit.
I'll set it right back in the middle. So that is, if you have the space for it, that is a totally viable option. And of course, if you are allowed to attach things to the wall, then a wall mount with a flex arm attachment could be a very nice way of adding a little bit of light behind you, either for providing more balanced lighting for your green screen, or for providing some sort of rim lighting or other accessory lighting for yourself or face cam. I don't see too many other questions. What else can we show off? Oh, I mean, just because you may consider moving on from the included stands for Keylight Air doesn't mean that you can't use this. Of course, you could attach Keylight Mini to this stand if you wanted to. Doesn't have to be relegated. This is actually a pretty good question. So I'll put this on screen because this does bring up a couple of other interesting discussion points. So I've read reviews on how the solid arm can't support the weight of some of the Sony cameras. Does the solid arm extension support more weight than the flex arm? And he says, whoops, I meant the flex arm can't. So it just has to do with leverage. The actual solid pieces themselves are made of metal. They are very strong. However, these points that allow you to have more control and more flexibility, no pun intended, with mounting and positioning and all that sort of stuff is just physics-wise going to be a weak point, because while there is a little bit of toothing on here, mostly from the machining process, a ball joint just isn't quite strong enough for providing enough resistance against, say, a camera that has a large 24-70 f2.8 lens, which are some of the heaviest lenses, with a full-size or full-frame mirrorless camera, and that's a lot of leverage. So really, maybe for half of this, or if you have a lighter camera, that is totally viable. Or you can kind of cheat a little bit by positioning. Let me see if I can show this. If you're fine with something that is entirely horizontal, then you can get away with this. So let me reposition this so it's in frame. Because this is, before I worked in technical marketing, I was on the social media support team for years. And this was a question that quite a few people had about mounting their cameras. So if I can, let's see, put this off. Not making a lot of noise, because this is not an ASMR stream. There we go.
So I will just, while Brett does this, I'll just answer this question that was said in chat. Not a question about mounts, but I want to get the PCIe Camlink Pro. But do you guys plan on coming out with a dual HDMI instead of a quad? Because 4 HDMI slots is overkill and 2 would be perfect. So while I can't speak of future products, I I would say if you're looking for 2 HDMIs, I would say Camlink Pro is still a benefit, because, um, of, you have the multiple inputs, you have, the multi-input functions of Camlink Pro with, like, picture in picture, side by side, done right on the card itself, and then within Camera Hub. So using that feature with the 2 cameras is really beneficial. Um, so, are we releasing a dual HDMI Camlink Pro? Mm, not at the moment. It's not really on the horizon. Um, but um, Camlink Pro, even though it has 4 HDMI slots, with the functionality and the bonuses that it gives, it's still a great product, even for 2 cameras.
All right. So here I brought the solid arm more in range, and so I was going to demonstrate that if you put it vertically to where the flex arm can move up and down, the joint is going to be under the most amount of, it's going to be subjected to the most amount of leverage. And so if you put enough pressure on that, it can slip. However, if you're okay with something that's horizontal, then if you go sideways, then there's nowhere for it to go. Now, of course, there is a weight limit on the multi-mount accessories. So we do not recommend loading it up with like a red cinema camera. There is a limit. And so I think we have a document that goes over those sorts of weight limits. I know
We
that
do.
for master mount, we have a general weight limit just because you don't want these joints to slip, or also if it's really tall, there's a certain risk with the clamp and such. But for flex arm, I mean, it's simply a matter of physics and friction, because these are essentially friction joints. So There's really not much guidance I can provide there besides if you're okay with something horizontal, then you'll get a bit more flexibility, ironically, by being able to position the joint to where it only wants to go horizontally. I guess is how I
Yeah,
would
so
describe it.
for flex arm, I think we recommend about 3 pounds, and also like how Brett said, the farther you get from the point of origin. So if if you're going perpendicular, if you're only a couple inches off, so say my arm is master mount, a couple inches off, there's not the gravity isn't dragging down so much here. But the further you go out, I'm not a physicist, so it would be like a fulcrum. Is that what that would be called? And the further you go out, the more weight is being pulled not only on the camera but also on the point where it's connected.
It's applying more
So
torque to that
E
joint.
exactly, exactly. So with solid arm, because solid arm has that heavy clamp, you can put up to like 5 pounds on the end of solid arm and still be good.
Hmm.
This flex arm has all those kind of those points of increased tension as you add more. If you have a four-piece flex arm and they're all connected and you put a camera on the end, each one of those joints has pressure put on them instead of solid arm where just the only pressure point is the connected point onto the master mount. So I think just weighing your options. Look at Brett's grin. Just weighing your options and
My
seeing
job.
how heavy the object you're looking to put on the end of that mounting system is going to depend if you want the flex arm or the solid arm.
So, oh, Mr. Greggles wants more HDMI inputs, not less. We need Camlink Pro 8 HDMI. So, I mean, there you're hitting certain limitations with bandwidth. Camlink Pro, well, not really limits, but there's certain design considerations that go into mind when producing some of these capture cards. So I guess with the same type of resolution support that Camlink Pro has, if you went with an 8 port model, I guess you'd have to go with PCI Express 8 lanes or move up to PCI Express Gen 3. So it's possible, but for a while now, we've been trying to stick to PCI Express 2 because it's the most compatible with the widest range of products. Even up until, I think I've said this like every stream, but I think it was up until X570 for AMD boards, all the accessory PCI Express slots were only 2.0. So if the moment we go to PCI Express 3, a pretty large amount of, frankly, very high performance systems suddenly wouldn't be able to connect that. So for example, my computer, I have a 16-core Ryzen 3950X, high performance CPU, but I'm on an X470 motherboard, which means any slot besides where you put a GPU are actually 2.0. But hey, I think we're already on PCI Express Gen 5 with Alder Lake. Crazy. It felt like we were on 3.0 for 20 years, and then suddenly 5.0 is already here. Okay. Let's see.
Do we
There
have
was
any questions from YouTube?
I was just about to say there was a question on there
Okay.
that I didn't show up in my dashboard until now. So this is regarding the Keylight Mini. He says if it can't be triggered by Stream Deck or pedal, correct? No, it can be.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess I'll set up my Stream Deck right now to show you it working. Let me bring that over.
Yeah, so while he sets this up,
Wireless.
every Elgato product, I would say every Elgato product works somehow with Stream Deck, whether it be lighting through Control Center, zooming in, or saturation, exposure with Camera Hub. So there we go. That was quick. Just by tapping the key on the Stream Deck. Yeah, so every Elgato product creates a cohesive ecosystem that works with Stream Deck. Lighting with Control Center, camera with face cam with Camera Hub, Wave products with Wavelink, multi-mount analog. So there's nothing to connect there. But yeah, everything that Elgato makes, you get an awesome piece of hardware with an awesome piece of software that then works with entirely within Stream Deck.
Speaking of awesome piece of software, Wavelink just
Yes.
received a new update that I was involved as the technical video producer. I'm involved in essentially making educational videos for this channel here on YouTube. I've got a workshop. Of course, we're also simulcasting. Is that the term? Multicasting,
Multicasting.
broadcasting to also Twitch as well to get some more questions in. But for Elgato Workshop, I produce quite a lot of the videos on there. Chris often helps me with voiceovers and scripts.
I do my
And
best.
so we just put out Wavelink 1.5. We have a video on that. The major new feature of that is audio effect presets. So if you have your noise reduction, your noise gate, compressor, EQ, and you have them tuned just the way you like, save it as a preset and maybe share it with your friends or some other creators, or save it to a file and then start from scratch and create a new preset for what you're looking for.
But also vice versa. If your friend uses Wave products and you also use Wave products and they sound great and they're really, they know their stuff with VSTs and audio effects, they can send you their profile and it just, really quickly, couple clicks, uploads right into your own Wavelink. And now you'll sound just like them. So yeah, it's an awesome new update. It's really, really easy to use. Um, and check it out. It's awesome. It's really cool.
With the Wavelink 1.5 update, I
Sharing is caring, Vix Gaming.
I often recite scripts when I'm driving. With the Wavelink 1.5 update, you can now import and export audio effect presets. Let's see. What was this about Camlink 4K doesn't? What was that in reference to from Trey? Was it that doesn't stick out a bit from the mount from the back of my desk?
Or does Camlink Pro doesn't write only Camlink Pro? Hey Trey, if you're still here, integrate with Stream Deck. So Camlink 4K now integrates into Camera Hub. If you have a Camlink 4K, it can integrate right into Camera Hub, and you can get you can get uh your preview and kind of use Camera Hub to. Does it integrate does it integrate directly with Camlink 4K, Brett? I'm
What
not
does Camera Hub?
because I know
It does now.
Camlink 4K, yeah, now goes into Camera Hub.
Yeah,
So
as
you
of a
can,
recent update.
yes. So any Camlink product will now go into Camera Hub software.
Right. And of course, Camera Hub is still, we have a lot of ideas that we want to bring to Camera Hub. We have a very long roadmap that we want to bring in terms of updates. And so we have a lot of ideas for how we're going to bring more integration with Camera Hub and Stream Deck, as well as other camera products like Facecam or Camlink 4K or Camlink Pro. But that's all we can really talk about right now.
And Vix did have another question right below that one. I'm wondering if you'll be making smaller desk clamps. Say making it fit the inside of a Secret Labs Magnus. At the moment, I have them on the sides because the clamps are too long.
Just
Making
now
a
put that on screen.
smaller. Got it. Perfect. Thank you, Brett. A smaller desk clamp. I don't think we have anything planned in that regard either. I know the desk clamps for Master Mount S and L are pretty
I'm not
good.
sure about, I don't know what the Magnus is.
Yes, also that is a good question. I am not up to. Is that a desk? It is a desk. Secret Labs Magnus metal desk. Okay. So I see the lips. Yep, I
Oh,
completely understand. Yeah, because it's not flush.
I can definitely send that suggestion over to the rest of the team. I've never
Yeah,
seen
I mean,
that before.
yeah, that's the first time I've seen the Secret Labs Magnus, but that's a great point. As these companies start making desks and you have these little idiosyncrasies, we're so used to a desk that just has a flush top and you can kind of clamp it to it, but now when you have little gaps and stuff like that, it's something to think about. Thank you, Vix. I think Brett and I both learned something today.
I'm still on the old IKEA desk from 12 years ago at this point. Unfortunately, they discontinued it almost immediately. Let's see, anything on YouTube? Not yet. So, in the meantime, so there are a couple other things with the Wavelink 1.5 update. Okay, the stream is titled multi-mount, but we have some other things to talk about.
Yeah.
So with the Wavelink 1.5 update, of course, it was with a lot of new additions, such as the presets, but also another one was the ability to copy and paste audio effects from one channel to another. So if you have an EQ you really like, but you want it to apply to a lot of other channels, or you don't want to manually readjust it, say you have an EQ or a compressor on your voice, but you want to do it to voice chat as well. Actually, a great example of this would be Chris and I in this call. If I have him coming through a channel in Wavelink, a separate one, I can make a sound pretty similar in terms of compression and EQ. And all I have to do is open up the audio effects menu on my mic and drag it over. And we have
Simple
a
as that.
video. Let me grab that.
Throw that in chat. Odin the Bearded One. Camera Hub is the only thing I have issues with, really. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Odin. The bearded one and all-knowing one. If you want to, I hope you have reached out to our customer support to get your issues fixed. They're a really great group of people. You can find them at, I will put the link in the chat. And they'd be happy to help you with any issues you have. And let's get that figured out for you. So there is the link for Wavelink 1.5, and there is the link for customer support. So make sure you can get them you can call Elgato support, you can open up a ticket, you can message us on social media. There's multiple ways to get in contact with us, and we're here to help. So if you're having issues, please reach out to customer support. We'd be happy to help you out.
Yep. And like I said, I worked in the support team for many years, and a lot of really great people there ready to help you.
Odin,
Not me anymore, though.
Odin
Sorry.
likes my Twitch name. Thank you, Odin. I appreciate it. That is me. I am Stormbeard. You can find me on Twitter at the Stormbeard.
Let's see. Oh,
Bomber Tank. Oh, go ahead, Brett.
Was it a question?
Bomber Tank asks,
Oh.
what is your personal favorite Elgato product?
I'll put that on screen.
Would you like to start?
So I have some sentimental value with, let's see, the HD60S, because
OG.
this is the old one, the original launch edition, because it's the day zero edition.
Oh, you got number 40 off the assembly line.
So this was before I worked at Elgato, but I had my own YouTube channel, and Jeff from, you may know him as Hi.
I'm Jeff from Elgato.
I'd known him for a really long time, and he knew I had a channel, and was really big into tech, and I don't think I was really doing reviews at that point, but did a lot of unboxings, and he knew I was really big into capture card technology and stuff, and he reached out and said, hey, would you be interested in reviewing one of these cards? And this was back in 2016, well over a year before I started at Elgato. And yeah, it's chugged along for, what would that be now, 8 years?
2016. Yeah, something like that.
and I still use it very frequently, and it's has the old logo on it. But that's I really like that one because it's sentimental value.
That deserves to be cherished, put in a museum. For me, I think my qu- favorite Elgato product is probably Stream Deck. Um, and even I stream pretty rarely. With these streams here, I stream on my own channel fairly rarely, maybe once or twice a month. So I am not a streamer, I would say, but Stream Deck has, and this might be, this might sound like hyperbole, but Stream Deck has literally changed my life and how I use my computer. Um, the plugins it provides, the actions that you can do on it, um, just for example, I start my day, I hit a key, it triggers a multi action, it opens up my email, it opens up my Spotify, it opens up Twitter just to see what's going on in the world, all with the tap of a key. With the Stream Deck, the world is your oyster. Whatever you put into Stream Deck, it can. What was that face, Brett? Look at him.
I just haven't used, I haven't heard that term in a long time.
Oh, yeah, with Stream Deck, and even if there isn't a action or a plugin that you want with Stream Deck, we provide the SDK for you to make that action completely free. So Stream Deck is my favorite thing. It does a lot of my day-to-day kind of basic operations. I have my stocks on there. I got my entire soundboard. I have I have a Stream Deck XL. I have an entire two whole folders full of soundboard sound effects that just totally increase the fun at work or in a meeting when someone announces something awesome, you get a little cheer. My lights are all triggered by my Stream Deck. Um, I I keep rambling, but I love Stream Deck. I love everything about it. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I'm just gonna end it there.
And I think one of
Stream
the
Stream Deck shill.
I think one of the really amazing aspects of Stream Deck is that if you were around when Stream Deck first came out, it was already a pretty big hit because
Mhm.
I mean you got to remember where I think people forget just how modest Stream Deck was when it launched. It was so first of all it was the original 15 key model, and it had game capture HD integration or capture
Mhm.
software. Um, it had, I think this might have been before we released 4K 60 Pro, so 4K capture utility wasn't out yet. So it's game
Okay.
capture HD, OBS Studio, Twitter, Twitch, a couple other things, and that was it. And even then, it was a huge productivity tool
Mhm.
because, of course, it also had hotkeys and I think pasting text and a lot of other system commands like opening applications and such. I don't think
Mhm.
multi actions were added then. And even it was just one folder deep. And
Yeah.
yet it offered so much. And now you have hundreds of plugins,
Yep.
uh,
And,
tons of
and
royalty free music and sound effects.
and just a couple things that just going back to. I know I said I'd stop talking about it, but I can't because I love it so much. PowerPoint plugins. You can tell your Stream Deck. So if you're making a PowerPoint for work, you can tell your Stream Deck on this key press, open up this PowerPoint. So when you're in your meeting, you're about to present, getting a little nervous, you don't want to go searching through your folders, like where did I save that PowerPoint? Boop, tap a key, PowerPoint automatically loads up because your Stream Deck knows its directory. Use your Stream Deck for switching slides, going back and forth. There's a Zoom, a Zoom action and Zoom plugin for all your Zoom needs, and now they're working from home stuff like that. Um, and simple things like there's a simple text action, so you type in a text box in the Stream Deck software and you name it. So let's say you do customer support, or you answer a lot of emails with kind of a boilerplate response. You can control C, control V, copy it in, or maybe you have like a list of emails that you use. Stream Deck, you just tap a key and it will populate that entire email with, in a split second. Um, those are just some of the things that I've used it for work purposes as well. Um, but there are so many avenues you can take Stream Deck. And I think everyone that owns a computer should have a Stream Deck. That's just me. That's
Unbiased, by the way. Yeah, when I worked in social media support for Elgato back before last year, I used Stream Deck constantly, especially my Stream Deck XL, because this we used a tool that wasn't the most exciting for handling questions through Twitter. And so, man, text pastes and having access to every common link, like for phone support or email support or links to downloads, all that stuff saved me so much time.
Yep.
So, I mean, yeah, if I didn't have the HD60S and the sentimental value there, I probably would choose Stream Deck. With that said, though, if you have any other questions about multi-mount, now is the time, because it's getting towards about an hour-ish in. And that's typically our
cutoff
closing
point.
period. And it looks like we have someone that we may be rating.
Oh. So Trey Dobbs says, I've been contemplating buying a Stream Deck, but I'm trying to think of more complicated tasks it can automate instead of simple things like opening apps and such. Yeah, so how do I word this? You can, because I don't want to get it wrong. If you want to give us like automate things, like if you have a specific thing you're looking to automate, let us know and I can, you know, say if it can do it, or I can look into it if it can do it, or we can find a way to do it. But there are possibilities for like longer macros and stuff like that. It's definitely a possibility. So yeah, let us know. Either here in chat, social media, in our Discord, we're available.
Indeed. All right, so last call.
Last call for questions, everyone. Until next time, you might have to wait. So now is the time to ask.
All right, so I'm gonna prep this.
All right. Odin the Bearded One asks, any recommendations on VST plugins for the Wave 3? Oh, Brett. This Brett
Don't say
is
it.
the VST king.
Look, I've said the word VST. It's not really a word, but I've said the term VST and heard the word
The acronym
VST so many times since we launched it. All I can say is the Reaper VSTs.
Yes,
I
the
mean,
Reaper bundle.
It kind of has everything you need. Actually, so one thing I need to go back and make sure I include this, but every video I've done for Workshop, I have used the VSTs that I have shown in the videos. So, especially the Reaper VST bundle, I love those. They're really basic. So I don't know how you pronounce it, Refer, which is really not a great way to say it. But it's Reaper FIR, which stands for Finite Impulse Response. It's like a dynamics processor. I use it for noise reduction, actually. You can build a noise profile. There's Reaper EQ and then Reaper Comp for compressor. And I literally use those to process the audio that you're hearing in those videos. And I'm using this microphone to do those voiceovers. So those are my recommendations to get started.
Yeah, I would be right there with Brett. The Reaper bundle has everything you need. It's super easy. There's tons of documentation on them. Even on Elgato.com, we have FAQs on how to set up your VSTs with the Reaper bundle. It's just a couple of great VSTs to get you started. And then, if you like what you see, you want to go a little deeper, then there's modulators and stuff like that are on the FAQ. Brett, we want to bring up that FAQ real quick. Could you find it? Throw that in chat before we head out. Legit Adventure, have a good day. I think the multi-mount is super cool. Thank you, Legit Adventure. I appreciate it. You also have a good day. Thank you. Everyone have a good day. Everyone, thank you for coming. We really appreciate it. Um, we wouldn't do these streams if it wasn't for you um, asking these questions, keeping the hype up, always interested in our products. So thank you. Thank you, everyone. Wish you guys did channel reviews. Um, like reviews of our products on our channel? I'm confused, Brett. Do you
Uh, yeah, I'm not sure either.
Sorry, Odin, yeah, like reviews of other products? That might get a little dangerous.
I don't think we're in a position to provide feedback on how people run their streams,
Yeah.
given how bad I am at this. So is that the article you were talking about, recommended VSTs?
Yes, it was. So,
Okay.
yep. So in there, it talks about equalizers, compressors, noise gates, vocal effects, and in there is the re EQ, the Reaper equalizer. There's the recomp, which is the compressor. There's the re gate, which is the noise gate. And all of those have images and helps you set up whatever VST you're looking for. So yeah, check out that FAQ that we just posted. Should it be able to answer all of your questions? Hopefully, hopefully.
And we have a question on YouTube before we end the stream. Any word on third audio output for Wavelink? Really good question. That is still something we're looking into, a full proper third audio mix, basically. So microphone effects, that type of audio output was meant to kind of, maybe stopgap is the wrong word to use, but it was meant to be an option for people to use, because most of the time when people needed that third audio output, it was, hey, I want these audio effects on my mic without sending stream mix to Discord or something. So microphone effects was meant to sort of have pretty good ROI. It was relatively straightforward to implement within, I think, one update, more or less,
Yeah.
before 1.3 went live. And yeah, it was meant to sort of help out a lot of people more easily than spending many months trying to get that third audio output. So it's something we're still looking into, but I don't have an update for you at the moment.
But it's at the top of the list for things for Wavelink. So it is. We are looking into it. It is a high priority thing for the next Wavelink update. But yes.
All right.
Alrighty.
With that said, I'm going to set up this
And who
raid
we who
again.
we who we rating?
Maze.
All right, we're rating Maze. So everyone,
It's a
stay
maze, but
tuned.
I
Maze, yeah.
played it up a little bit. Playing
Stay
Destiny
tuned.
2.
Playing some Destiny 2. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you next time, and show some support. Here we go. Have a good one.
Now's your time. All right, thanks for joining, everyone.